Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is April 14, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 62 of me answering your immigration questions. As you can see, I have all your comments pulled up here. Before we begin though, I'm going to mention I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course Department of State with their Visa Bulletins. And probably most of you already know, May 2023 already came out just yesterday, so we're going to be probably most likely talking quite a lot about May 2023 in this volume. Alright, let's start with the very first one from Sassy Diva. Good day, which months they are at in the F category? Okay, Sassy Diva, if you could please clarify specifically which F category you are interested in, which family priority category, because there are 4 of them. But to give you a brief overview, I'm going to actually open up May 2023 and we'll look at the priority dates. So far we have for first priority January 2017. F2A, it's showing current, but this is not correct. As we know from April 2023, F2A is currently on September 2020 whenever it comes to the being documentarily qualified dates and getting the immigration interviews. Actually, F2B is January 2017, but again this has not been updated in May or April, so we don't know updated information on F2B yet, unfortunately. F3 is on February 2010 and forced priority February 2008, but again this is on all chargeability. So if anyone, that goes for anyone who's watching, if you want a little bit more detailed information, please provide which category you're interested in, which chargeability area, and of course what are your priority dates, documentarily qualified dates, and I will be able to give you a little bit of better estimate of how long till the availability of the immigrant visa. All right, let's move on to Saturin Donang. Actually, a few comments from Saturin. Please, and by the way, if I'm mispronouncing the name, I'm very sorry. Please, I need help to my processing since 2019. My case still pending in USCIS. My wife received a welcome letter since 8 months now, and PA also, but USCIS did not. Send my documents to NVC. My processing for I-130 still pending since 2019. USCIS replay Matt second letter I, but not sent to NVC since 8 months. Okay, Saturn, so if your case is still with USCIS, that it's the USCIS that you need to basically check the processing times for. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to show you the navigation so you can check it out for yourself. We're going to go to the official USCIS, US Citizenship and Immigration Services website. This is their homepage. We're going to click on Tools right here at the top, navigation menu, and then Case Status Online. Here you can type in the receipt number that your wife received, the notice of receipt. That's going to have the receipt number, enter there and see where the case is. Most of the times it just says, you know, we're actively reviewing your case, which yes, might not be very helpful, but this page might be more helpful. Check case processing time. So we're going to select I-130 and then you're going to select the category. If your wife is permanent resident, then obviously it's going to be permanent resident filing for spouse. All right. And if she's a US citizen, then it's going to be US citizen filing for spouse. So obviously, depending on which category you're in, depending on which service center your case is at, is going to have different processing times. Like for example, here in this case, for if if a spouse is permanent resident and she's inviting you, right, you're a beneficiary, and it's processed at Texas Service Center, you see roughly it takes about 17 months. All right, so about a year and a half, is it? Yeah, about a year and a half. But again, this is only 80% of the cases, so there's still 20% of the cases that are processed either faster or slower. So you can check it out yourself, but if you don't know how to, you can come back, let me know in the comments below which category, which chargeability area, and I'll be able to give you a little bit more details. I'm just gonna heart all of this, and we're gonna move on to the next comment from Simone Williams. Simone, thank you again for tuning in. F1 priority date, June 2017, so I appreciate the update. I really hope in the next few months things will keep moving and I'll get some positive news. Still waiting on my welcome letter. Yeah, Simone, actually for F1, I believe, I'm gonna open, let's see, I'm gonna open the April Visa Bulletin, because I think F1 was one of the categories that moved pretty positive update on the move. Let's take a look. So this is April and this is May. Yes, so we see almost about 6 months. Again, my math is horrible, so I'm very sorry if I'm like giving you some off, a little bit off here and there. But about 6 months for the F1 movement, which is really nice. It's really good to know. You know, if we if every single month the new Visa Bulletin comes out and there is, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months movement every single month, we're gonna be able to catch up with the backlog pretty quickly. So this is definitely positive news, and I would say not just for F1, it's positive news for everyone, whichever category you're in, because if you see a positive movement in one category, it means everything else is moving along as well. Just because it's not updated on the Visa Bulletin, don't let that discourage you, because it's just not updated information yet. Hopefully in the next couple months we will see updated for everybody else. So definitely, Simone, thank you for commenting again. And let's move on to the next question from the Great Invisible. I feel the DS261 since March 29, 2023. After filing it, I got the confirmation for my choice of agent, which is my petitioner. It is for an approved I-824, follow to join for EB2. The priority date is October 29, 2021. Our immigrant visa processing fees is yet to be invoiced. Okay, so they did not take out the processing fees yet. It has passed 2 weeks already. What can I do? Chargeability country is Nigeria, so it is current. Okay, so EB, that's the employment-based immigrant visa category, and let's take a look actually at the employment base, because I did not even check. Let's see, I'm gonna go to the priority dates, so we have that information in front of us, and we will see if there's any updates. Well, there's a third priority that is now showing May 20, which is pretty good, which is current, not too bad. This is a little bit June, February, June, so we got a pretty good movement in the China chargeability area. And then let's see, India is the same. We got Mexico, which is showing still current for Mexico and Philippines. Okay, so third priority looks good, but I think you said second priority. Let's take a look. Yes, so you said second priority. Let's take a look at the second one. December 22 for all chargeability. So I'm not sure where you're seeing that. Well, judging by your priority date, yes, because you are in October 21 and right now it says December 22. So yes, your immigrant visa already definitely supposed to be current. So I would say not much to worry, just because it's been 2 weeks. Usually whenever it comes to NVC in general, whenever it comes to them processing the information, let's say for example, if they need additional some kind of evidence, or you're paying the fees, or you're submitting some kind of form, before they review that form, I would say on average it's about a month and a half. So you have about 2 weeks that has, you know, elapsed. I would give it easily another month to see, and if there is no movement, then yeah, definitely I would recommend filling out the one of those public inquiries forms. Actually, I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go to this Visa Bulletin page right here. This is a website you can find it on, and at the very top, this is a travel.state.gov, which is kind of like sub website for the Department of State that has to do with all the consular affairs, including obviously the immigrant visas for the families and for employment-based visas. So we're gonna click on Contact Us. I'm not gonna click it. I'm gonna open it in a new window. And if you click on US Visa Contacts, and then scroll down, and there is a public inquiry form. We're gonna click on that, and again, you'll have to do that again. Right here, you will see online immigrant visa inquiries, only public inquiry form. So if in about a month there is still nothing, the fees were not invoiced yet, they were not taken out, If the form was not reviewed yet, then I would recommend filling out this inquiry and sending it to them just to follow up. Just obviously be professional, polite here in your inquiry. Provide all your information, your case number with NVC, principal, petitioner's full name, date of birth, all that sort of stuff, email, and then send it to them. But like I said, about a month and a half, it's pretty normal for the NVC to actually get into whatever they, whatever they receive from the public. All right, let's move on to the next question comment from Harsh Shah. Harsh, thank you very much for being publicly subscribed. Appreciate that. Hey brother, I'm very thankful for your help. It helps a lot clarifying our doubts related to immigration. My I-130 notice date is 29/01/2011 for F3 India. How much time I'll have to wait for my visa after analyzing the May Visa Bulletin? All right, Harsh, thank you for being publicly subscribed. Thank you for another question, and I'm glad this is helpful. Let's take a look at May Visa Bulletin. We're gonna close this public inquiry form, and we'll actually, I don't think we need April anymore, so we'll take a look at May F3. Let's see. So your priority date is 2011. All right. Let's see, so we're gonna go to priority date, that's dates for filing, the graph B. So there you go. F3, so right now, all chargeability, no, you're actually India. Well, actually India and all chargeability, so everybody else in India, same way for this particular category, which is great. So, February 2010, and yours is January 2011. Okay. So you're just about 1 year behind. So a very rough estimate, but a bit more updated. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna check. I shouldn't have closed that April. I wanna compare if this is updated information or if it isn't. Because if it's the same as is April 2023, then there wasn't any update. So this is not updated information. So let's take a look. So we got graph B. I'm gonna put it here. There we go. So F3 India, November 2009, February 2010. Okay, all right. So you do have a positive movement on specifically for India chargeability area. That's great news. And not quite a lot, few months. But at the same time, like I said, if it moves every month by 3 months, in 4 months, it will cover the whole year. So it's really, really good news. So right now, judging by what we have right now, and we know this is updated information because it just came out yesterday. Right now, you're looking at 1 more year waiting for that immigrant visa to be available. But again, if it keeps moving 2-3 months at a time each month, then obviously it's going to be much less. So great news, Harsh, for you. And yeah, I really hope for everyone, it's gonna keep moving this fast, because like I said, even as long as it's just a little bit over a month, it's gonna catch up. It's gonna catch up with the backlog that we have. All right, let's move on to the next question from Ngozi Mosey. Actually, there are 2. Let's see. So F4 DC June 2021. DQ and DC June 2020. Okay, Ngozi Mosey, I don't really know what DC is. So if you could please clarify. I understand it's F4 and maybe it's dates. No, it can't be, because it's documentarily qualified in June 2020. So either June 2021 or is it June 2020? So for F4, I'm just gonna say for F4, as far as the priority dates go, currently, it's on February 2008. And yes, there was some movement from the previous, from the May, I'm sorry, not May, from April 2023 Visa Bulletin, about 2 months, which is great, from December 2007 to now February 2008. Again, if it keeps moving along this way, it will be pretty fast. So you are 2020, 2021, you're still looking at quite a lot of time to wait, because forced priority category, it's it's the longest category that we have to wait for brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens. But hopefully, it will be speeding up as the new visa bulletins come out, because you know, if it stays, like I said, 2-3 months every month, we're gonna be able to catch up. But if you want, please provide a little bit more details, a little bit more clear information, and I will be able to give you some better, maybe, estimates. All right, let's move on to the next question from Bero. Your videos are very helpful. We followed you and filed I-539, also I-539A, me and my wife. Perfect. We gave fingerprints and photos. Now we are waiting for a reply. Our question is, how can the mother and father of an 18-year-old American citizen who have tourist visas stay with him till he is 21 years old? Okay, great question, Bero. So I would say, did you say the son? How can a mother and the father of 18-year-old? Okay, so whether it's a son or daughter who's American citizen, they just need to file that petition, I-130. Petition for alien relative, for their parents. Being US citizen, you can petition for your parents, and it takes quite a while, but compared to all the other categories, it's pretty fast, all right? And I'll actually show you how fast it is, because we do have the processing times page open here, I-130. So US citizen filing for... Let's see, US citizen filing for spouse, parent, there you go. So as you can see, parents for US citizen are in the same category as spouse and child under 21, which again, like I said, pretty fast. So we're gonna go to all field offices, get processing time. So about 36.5 months. And again, if you look through different processing service centers, you will see a little bit of the difference. It depends whether the processing center is waiting for basically closer to the NVC and becoming documentarily qualified, or they just review petition, approve it, and then they send it to NVC right away. It still takes time, but compared to other categories, like I said, this is really nothing compared to a lot of other categories. So I would recommend filing the I-130 as soon as possible. Start the process, and then, you know, you guys can hang around here because your visa, you know, non-immigrant visa, you're extending it. So, you know, you can still hang out with your child while the petition is waiting. Just make sure you maintain, even after the petition is filed, I-130 petition, make sure that you maintain a valid legal status in the United States, whether it's B1, B2. If extension is not possible, then obviously you want to, you know, go back and then come back to get another 6 months duration of stay. Just make sure that you maintain. Just because there is a pending I-130 petition, it does not give you a legal right to stay in the United States. Unfortunately, I think they should make a specific visa type, kind of like for those people that are waiting. Like, for example, you know, if you're filing, for example, for, let's say, you know, your brother, you're a citizen filing for your brother, and waiting for brothers about 16 years now, judging by the Visa Bulletin, 16-15 years. In this 16-15 years, your brother can come here and visit you anytime on a regular visa, non-immigrant visa, like a visitor visa, but not the regular B1, B2 visa, but more so visa for those that have the pending I-130. I think it would be a great idea. We'll see if that probably will never happen, but that would be nice. But yeah. All right, let's move on to the next question from Ivory. Hey, the Visa Bulletin for May came out yesterday. A little movement in family base, but for EB, well, yes, Ivory. Actually, just today I have uploaded the brand new May 2023 Visa Bulletin video. All right, let's move on to the next one, to Norman Ocampo. Thanks, sir. Very informative. Thanks, sir, for watching. I'm glad this is helpful. Let's move on to the next one from Maritis DQ. I can't pronounce that. I'm very sorry. F1 category priority date September 2012. Documentarily qualified December 2021. Hoping to move next month. Okay, that's really good news that you were documentarily qualified. The reason why you are still waiting for the interview is because there was this whole pandemic situation that happened. Because if that didn't happen, if we did not have these closures during the pandemic, you definitely would have had already your interview by now. Now, to kind of give you estimates of how long you're looking at to wait, from the Visa Bulletin, of course, from the April 2023 Visa Bulletin, and the same thing from the May 2023, we know that one updated category was F2A, which used to be current and is showing now about 2 years, 2.5 years roughly, backlog. All right, and that's the backlog that occurred during those closures during the pandemic. So with that, we can kind of roughly estimate that people that have been documentarily qualified and are waiting for an interview with current immigrant visas are waiting roughly 2.5 years for their interviews. Again, because of the pandemic, not because of the backlog. So I think that 2.5 years, it sounds a little scary, but it will keep speeding up because now that we're open, it will be getting better. But a very rough estimate, if you were documentarily qualified in 2021, as of right now, we are looking probably, let's see, 2021, and they're checking out the September, so you're December 21, and they're doing September 2020. So roughly, you have about 1 more year before the interview. Again, it's a very rough estimate because things might speed up, and I think they will. We see some of the categories speeding up significantly. So everybody's hoping, and I'm in the same boat because I do have a petition myself that I'm waiting on. And we'll see in the next few months with a couple more Visa Bulletins. I think things will start getting much clearer than we had before, which is great. Really, it's great. All right, let's move on to the next question from Lorna Okwaman. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Priority date December 2016, documentarily qualified October 2021. Still waiting for interview, F2A category. Lorna, sad emoji. I'm sorry that you're waiting, but you really don't have a lot more to wait. It's the same situation as Maritas. I would say roughly about a year, and you should be getting your interview. So it should be somewhere around the corner. And again, it might be much faster than that because things are speeding up and we see them speeding up. But the information, again, and you are an F2A. F2A was this video, if you guys haven't seen the F2A family preference category video that I've recently posted, check it out because F2A shed a lot of light for all the other categories, especially for people who have been already documentarily qualified back in 2020, 2021, and they still didn't get their interview. And you know, a lot of people are wondering why. Pandemic closures, unfortunately, because F2A was always current. For the most part, it was always current. But thank you. Appreciate your comment, Lorna, and I really hope that things will speed up. I think they will because we see stuff speeding up for other categories. All right, moving on to the next comment question. I cannot read that, unfortunately. I can read 16. I'm sorry about that. Let's read the comment. File completed. File completed January 25, 2023. When is the date for U.S. Embassy interview? 80 days have passed. Class F21 who have filed a green card transaction. Priority date April 2021. They gave us a message from the NVC a month ago. We wait 2 months. How much minimum wait for an appointment for Class F21? I'm not familiar with the Class F21. I'm thinking either F2A or F2B. But here's the thing. I would not worry about it too much, because whenever it comes to, you know, being documentarily qualified and NVC transferring the case to the U.S. Embassy, you're looking at least few months of wait time. There's a lot of factors when the NVC sends the case, if it's, you know, if the immigrant visas are current for that particular category. Once they send the case to the U.S. Embassy, then they need to find a time slot for an interview. And a lot of times these U.S. embassies are still overbooked, again from the closures during the pandemic. So all the people that have been waiting for their interviews for, you know, year, 2 year, like in the situation, you know, with Lorna and Maritas, they are now going through these interviews. So people that have been recently documentarily qualified, they are just now waiting in line for all of these people to go through their interviews. All right. So there is kind of a backlog, if you think about it, on the scheduling of the interviews as well. Again, these things will be speeding up as, you know, finally everything is open and everything is working, hopefully normally without any problems. We'll see. But that should be speeding up as well. I would give it easily. So it's been about 3 months now. I would give it another 3 months at least, for a total 6 months wait time. Alternatively, you know, if the immigrant visa is already available for that category and you know it for a fact, you can always send a public inquiry form, which I showed how to do. Or you can also, if you are documentarily qualified, and that goes for everyone who's watching, if you're documentarily qualified and if according to the Visa Bulletin, the immigrant visa is supposed to be already available, you can submit an expedited request with the NVC. There's no guarantee that they will, you know, that they will honor it and then they will expedite the process, but still it is worth a shot. And I have a video on how to do it on this channel, so check it out when you get a chance. But I think things are moving along pretty good. Okay, let's move on further. Anas, why F2B no movement? Anas, again, it is a little bit frustrating to see, you know, some of the categories move and yours not move, but don't let that discourage you. As long as we see updates on one category, we can be a little bit, you know, have a little bit of a sense of relief. Why? Because things are moving along. The only reason why there is no update yet for a certain category, like in this case, for example, F2B, is because it's literally not updated yet. So because we see other categories update, it means we will see the rest in the next couple months. So just keep checking on the Visa Bulletin. We are finally starting to see some movement. So in the next couple months, we will see some positive changes. I think we will see some positive changes. All right, moving further to Miriam Art. Miriam, thank you for another question. Appreciate it. Hello, I have a question for you. My friend wants to petition for her husband. Her income is low. He is the one that makes most of the income. Will she need a sponsor? Thanks. Great question, Miriam. Yes, definitely. So whenever it comes to petitioning for, you know, for a beneficiary, sponsoring an immigrant, a relative, yes, you do have to show a certain amount of income. Now, I'm going to actually, you know what, I'm going to use this as an opportunity. Let's see. We're going to go to Google and we're going to type in USCIS minimum sponsor income. There we go. This is the page that you want to look at. So let's take a look. So for example, if it's just her in the household, right? She's just by herself. When she files taxes, she files by herself. If she's petitioning for another, for somebody, for her husband in this case, it's 2 people now in the household. So the minimum income that she needs to show is $24,650. All right. So if obviously she's making less, or let's say if there are additional people in the household, let's say she's living with 2 kids, right? It's 3 people in the household. Petitioning for 1 immigrant, that's now we count it as 4 people in the household, $37,500, all right? So if it's below that, then yes, she's definitely gonna be needing a joint sponsor. But with all of that being said, I would recommend not worrying much about that right now, because there are still wait times. There's still processing with USCIS. USCIS themselves, interestingly, even though they provide this information here, whenever you're dealing with USCIS, they don't care about the income, all right? They care about the relationship, establishing the relationship. It's when the case is approved by USCIS and transferred to the NVC, that's when we need to start worrying about, you know, finding a joint sponsor, this and that. But before that, there is still time. So the sooner she does it, the better. But yes, if it's below these numbers here, then she'll definitely need to kind of, you know, along the way start searching for a joint sponsor. All right, we're probably gonna move on to the very last question for today from Maya Kanchelishvili. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Hi there, I applied for I-530 online and soon I received notice for my biometrics appointment, which went well on April 6th, and in few days I received another notice for another biometrics appointment for April 24, which seems very confusing. It is very confusing. Has that happened to anyone? please recommend what I should do. Okay, Maya, so personally, I never dealt with anything like this. I haven't seen like double booking for the biometrics appointment, but what I would definitely recommend to do is, I know it's annoying, and you know people work, people have stuff to do, but if you have availability, definitely go for the second appointment. Bring the notice that you have the stamp on from the first appointment, and bring the notice for the second appointment. And you know, when you go through, you stand in line, it depends on, sometimes they're busy, sometimes they're not, the application service centers. The person that is accepting that form, that notice of the appointment, just let them know what happened. Just let them know that you have one form and you have received two. This is your second appointment. And let them kind of, if they tell you it's all right, go ahead, you know, do it again, the biometrics, fingerprint, and the picture. Just do it again. If they say no, it's fine, you don't have to do it, well, that's it. That answers your question. But it's much better than not showing up. And yes, it might be, you know, somebody made a mistake at USCIS, but it's definitely much better to go there instead of a no-show, because you don't want to get, you know, not a very positive decision from USCIS, because, well, you didn't miss your appointment, but to them, you never know how their system works. They might look at the last appointment and say, oh, you didn't show up for that appointment, and deny your application. So with that one, I'm gonna stop because it's already over 30 minutes. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any follow-up questions, do not hesitate to ask them. Just make sure don't respond to my comment within your comment, because for some reason YouTube does not send me notifications for those. Just submit a separate comment. But yes, appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.